Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. Welcome back to the least comfortable show on the web. It's The System is Down, where we talk about all the uncomfortable topics like conspiracies, politics, religion, and whenever I can get Tom MacDonald on the show, all other plans are set aside. That's what we're doing today, and we're going to get into that here in just a moment. Let's kick this intro, and let's get weird.
The following is a Goulash Media production. goulashmedia.net.
Remember a simpler time when it was okay to be weird, have fun, and think for yourself?
Well, those days are over. The art of conversation itself is dead. Sacrificed on the altar of divide and conquer and disguised as political correctness and spared feelings. I believe that unity can only come from truth, and that the only way to find truth is by exploring and embracing our valuable differences and having civil, open-minded, and uncomfortable discourse. Conspiracies, politics, religion, and all the taboo topics are mainly just praise you don't bring up around the Thanksgiving dinner table. We are here to literally change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. So if you're easily offended, put your big girl panties on and buckle up, Buttercup, because you chose to be here. I'm Dan Smots, you are the power, and this is The System is Down.
Yes, sir, it is that time again. We are gonna do it again. It's been a good long 2 years since we did this, but I know what you're here for. I know exactly what you're here for. But patience is a virtue, and good things come to those who wait. Before we get into that, we gotta remind you guys about our lovely sponsors. First and foremost being you guys in the Downers Club. People like Dickie Walnuts, Lauren Carter, Representation Zero, Shannon Martinez, Level Zero, Vanzite Media, Pavlik Chainsorado, Brian Johnson, Anthony Peoples, Carolina B, Jack Casey, Javari, Kyle Evans, Paul Brandenberger, Craig DeCosta, Mitchell Caswell, Davis Johnson, John Odermatt, Tim Brown, Aaron Sue, Howie Snowden, Nathan Sipes, Brian McWilliams, David White, Lucas Riley, Mary Rome, The Liberty Hippie, John Barnhouse, William Wells, and others. If you would like to get your name on that list, if you would like to support this thing, and maybe have your name read if I'm fast enough on that day, you can do so by going to patreon.com/The System is Down and signing up for the Downers Club for as little as $5 a month. That's one fucking super chat a month, and you'll get more weird, more raw, more offensive, all our weekly bonus content over at patreon.com/The System is Down. All right. Now, we are also sponsored by a couple other things. As you know, we've got our shirt store up in the shirt store at thesystemisdown.tv/store. You can get the new swag like Let's Go Brandon, the happy Let's Go Brandon shirt with Joe Biden's face on it in Brandon's attire. You can get I Survived the Florever Purge and all I got was this spicy flu. Or you can get Soylent 19 because, as we know, the vaccine is people. You can get those at thesystemisdown.tv or, I was going to say anywhere shirts are sold. That's not even true. That's a lie. Fact check. But, yes, we are also sponsored by such people as Free Ounce of Kratom. If you have not tried Kratom, now's your chance. You can go try it for free at freeounceofkratom.com. That is what I am drinking currently, and it's what gives me this peppy, annoying tone and tenor of my voice. Try it at Free Ounce of Kratom, or you can also get Delta 8 THC or colloidal silver, vitamins, minerals, all the fun, happy, natural things that your government hates you loving. And freeounceofkratom.com. Enter the promo code TSID for 5% off your entire order. And that's it, I believe. Oh, yeah. What's his name? I'm so good to my sponsors. TheRoyalGreen.com. Check out Jack Casey's book, TheRoyalGreen.com. It's a book that he wrote, and he's got the balls to support this show, and that's good enough for me. I haven't read it, but I'm sure you're less distractible than I am. Check it out at TheRoyalGreen.com. How do I turn this off? Shit. All right. Anyway, we are joined, as you know, as I've already alluded to way too much, by the one, the only Mr. Thomas MacDonald. Tom, welcome back to the show. How are you, sir?
Good, brother. It's good to see you, man. How are you?
I am well. You are the most elusive interview guest I've ever had on this show. We've been talking about this pretty much since the last time you were on, which is probably my fault because I don't leave you alone, but thank you so much for giving me the time and coming back on, man. How have you been?
Sure, man. Absolutely. Good. Just fucking grinding it out as usual, man, and just
taking over the world?
Yeah, it's been a lot has changed since the last time we spoke 2 years ago.
I
So
was gonna say I listened back to that episode. It was episode 135. If people want to check it out, it's back in November of 2019. But yeah, I listened to that episode today, and I was like, holy shit! Everything it's an entirely different world that we're living in now than it was then. And at the time, we were talking about like conspiracies and censorship and stuff, but young, naive children at the time, and look at us now. So let's talk about it. Like, we all got hit. Did you get hit after the January 6th insurrection, selfie tour, or whatever you want to call it? Did you get any pushback from that? Because that's when I got kicked off of all the platforms for talking about different theories and things.
honestly, man, like far before that whole situation, like it's really tough to say, man. Like, I mean, I think that my sort of battles with whether it be social media or different DSPs or streaming services or whatever, I think like those situations are sort of like well documented because I've blasted them out all over the internet. Everything, every time something kind of goes like awry.
Mm-hmm.
So like, here's the thing, like, I've had lots of weird stuff happen. Like, when I dropped Snowflakes, which was a video that I put out like a few months ago, I guess. Like, I had a couple people report to me like, "Hey, this video is being taken down off my page every time I post it." So
Yeah.
then I posted, "Hey, if you're having problems sharing this video, send me a screenshot as proof. I want to see it."
Yeah.
And I ended up like in 24 hours getting like 7 or 8 thousand screenshots of people sharing the video, and their account would be deactivated, or they'd get a 30-day ban or a 3-day ban, or they'd post it and screenshot it, and then 15 minutes later they'd screenshot their page again, and they'd just been entirely removed.
Wow.
So there's been like a lot of situations. That's just one example. I've had a lot of situations where I felt like either a platform or a DSP, somebody somewhere was breathing down my neck about what I was doing. But like at the same time, it's like we all agreed to the terms of service when we signed up for these things.
Yeah.
So it's like at the end of the day, it's like if you're getting too dicey, they have the authority to pull the plug, whether that's right or wrong. They have that authority. We signed up,
Sure.
we checked the boxes, whatever. So when things like January 6th or anything sort of politically volatile in the world is like going on, like I mind my P's and Q's on the internet. Like
Yeah.
I had like I just dropped America like 2.5 weeks ago.
Right.
That was supposed to come out literally like 2 days after or 3 days after the January 6th thing.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, it had like just happened. I don't have all the facts about it.
Right.
I don't know if anybody still has all the facts about it.
Right.
So it's like
Or those who do, whether or not they're actually telling the truth about it.
correct.
Yeah.
So it's like in the face of sort of the uncertainty of that whole situation, I wasn't going to release America
Right.
and then accidentally endorse something that I didn't understand.
Right.
And obviously, like moderation and censorship and suppression and shit like that it's super heightened during times like that.
Sure.
And so, I'm sitting there looking at it like, well, I really want to drop this fucking video, but all this shit just happened. So
There's a part of you that's tempted to even more, though, right? Like, it'll blow up even bigger and get more fire started.
Well, that's the duality of the whole thing. It's like,
Right.
well, it just seems like this just happened. This has just made my video more relevant than ever.
Mm-hmm.
So is the squeeze worth the juice
Right.
at this point in time? Do I go for it? Do I risk being deplatformed and demonetized and removed from the internet? Do I risk that
Right.
for this video, or what do I do? So that was like a big thing, man. Like I talked to my lawyer, I talked to my dad, I talked to my girlfriend, I talked to all my best friends,
Right.
laid out the scenario. for the first time in my life, sent the video out early to people, which is something I typically don't do. And I just said, just watch this. And in the context of what's going on in the world right now, using January 6th as your reference point, is this an appropriate thing to do? Is it a risky thing to do? Like, what's everybody's opinions? And it wasn't any help, because half of the people said, this is definitely the time that you have to release something like this. And the other half, like my folks were like, hey man, like, you have a family to take care of, and you have a career that you've sacrificed everything for. The last 10 years of your life, you've been struggling to get to where you're at now. And they thought it would probably be irresponsible of me to put that on the line. And ultimately I took that advice, and I decided to just press pause on it. And unfortunately, shit didn't ever slow down. It just got crazier and crazier and crazier.
Now we're all
more and more
domestic
volatile.
terrorists, turns out.
Yeah. So I was just like, you know what? I'm putting out the video. Like, I just got my 2 albums out. The albums are out now. And if they decide, fuck this guy, we're going to take his channel down, like, well, at least I got these 37 songs out to the world that I've been working on all year. And whatever, I'll take it on the chin if that's the case. And we dropped it, and it's all good.
Yeah, so America, the video you just put out, was that video done back then? Like, that's the same video that you had planned on putting out at that time, or did you change it after?
All of the essentially what happened was, like, I run and gun like a lot of like what I do. Like, I'm constantly like moving and working, and projects are changing and things are evolving, and I pretty much drop my shit like in real time.
Yeah.
Like, as it gets completed, it comes out. I don't typically like make something and sit on it or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, that situation was like a little bit of like anomalous. So we had shot all of the camouflage Humvee with the soldier outfit stuff. We'd shot all that, and I don't remember what the other scenes were going to be at that point, but we were going to literally the next day, or in the next 2 days, we were going to shoot the rest of it and then drop it that Friday. So as I'm gearing up to shoot the rest of the video, January 6th rolls around, confuses the situation, takes a lot of what I was trying to say sort of out of context, I think, so that I didn't end up shooting the rest of that video. So when I had decided, okay, fuck it, it's time, I'm going to drop this video, then I had to fill in the blanks, because all I had was the camouflage Humvee and the soldier outfit. So, you know, I had like a 50-foot like American flag that I've had for a while, that I actually used in Snowflakes as well. So I had like wrapped that around myself, and we shot that. And then I had the blue suit, I think was from People So Stupid. Obviously, I had the camo ski mask from Fake Woke, and I bought a bunch of flags, set up a backdrop, and did the suit and ski mask thing. And yeah, just did it on the fly.
Right on. So what are your thoughts now on the January 6th thing? We don't have to spend too much time on it, but I'm just curious, because you know, a lot of people are currently sitting in jail. I'm not a Trump supporter at all. I'm a libertarian. I don't swing left or right. But what are your thoughts on that and how those guys are being treated now? That's all gone. I don't know. There are people currently sitting in solitary confinement for walking within a velvet rope through the Capitol.
It's tough to say. I still don't really truly understand what happened or how it actually went down. There's like so much conflicting. That seems to be like the name of the game these days.
Yeah.
There is so much extremely convincing and conflicting evidence that comes from both sides of the political spectrum, that it is like increasingly difficult to figure out what the fuck is actually going on here. What the fuck actually happened there? Like, I've just seen so much crazy shit. So like at the, I don't know. I feel like if it's legitimate that people, you know, broke into a government building, like if that's a legitimate thing, then like I get it. I get it. You got arrested, dude. Like
Right.
you know, but that's the price you pay to fight the system sometimes. Like that's what
Right.
it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
For me,
but
I'm like,
if that's illegitimate, and I've heard that people were invited in and stuff like that, then that's a completely different thing.
right.
But it's really difficult to discern like what the truth is. Like I was just saying to my friend the other day, we were sort of just like talking about like the state of the world and like how this state that we're in has lasted for 17 months. And he was asking me like, do you think this is a conspiracy, or do you think that this is about taking rights away, or do you think that that this is dangerous, or do you think this is safe? And obviously, like I'm omitting words here to like
Sure. Yeah.
protect the channel and my own.
Yeah.
And like my whole thing was just like, never in my life have I spent how long have you had Google for? Like 15 years, 20
Yeah.
years? I've had Google for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Never in my life have I spent 17 months Googling the same shit and been unable to find the fucking answer.
Right.
And
Google
that's
isn't a
fucking
search
problem.
engine anymore. It pushes its opinion on you of what these things are. Like Google has a bias, and if our knowledge has a bias, then it's not knowledge.
Yeah, it's fucking unbelievable. And like it's just so bizarre. I used to be able to Google something, boom, and I'd have the answer in fucking 5 seconds. And now it's like there's no answer at all, or there's 45 different answers and they're all conflicting with one another. And like sometimes you find an answer and then you go back to cite your source to somebody that you might be having a conversation with, and it's fucking gone.
Yep.
And you're like, well, I don't know how to continue this argument anymore because
Right.
I got my information from a source that no longer exists.
Right.
So,
dude, I'll
it's
do
just
that.
like
we covered news once a week. Like we do a comedy show where we just roast the news basically and all the bullshit. And I'll pull up links as the week goes through, and I'll separate all my links, getting them ready in my notes, plans for the show. And then I go back, and some of them just aren't there anymore when I go back for it. I'm like, I guess we're not talking about that. I don't know. But yeah,
so
it's crazy.
So it's really difficult to tell, man. It's weird. Like when we first got the internet, it was like the age of information,
Right.
and it was like this really fucking awesome thing. And then people figured out how to like weaponize that,
Right.
and now it's become like the age of misinformation. So what we typically, historically, in our lifetimes, anyways, relied on to get information and facts and shit like that, has sort of like become the antithesis of that.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
and
it's
for
not
people
just
who are so used to relying on it, it makes us super susceptible to reading false information
right.
and then thinking it's real. Because for the majority of our lives, we've gone to the internet for answers, and you know, typically we were able to get them quite easily.
Yeah.
So for people like us that grew up in our generation, it's like I think we are particularly susceptible to sort of this age of misinformation, and it makes, for me anyways, it makes it super fucking difficult to sort of gauge what the fuck is actually going on.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's not just that there's misinformation out there. I mean, all the people who are trying to crack down on this or trying to impose more censorship, they would agree that there's a lot of misinformation. The problem is that the misinformation is being demonized. Like the idea of misinformation is being demonized while the mainstream media is pushing disinformation that they're pretending is not misinformation. So they're weaponizing misinformation while they're saying that everybody who disagrees with it, like it's clown world. It's the whole thing is fucking upside down.
Clown world indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about COVID. How's COVID been
Sure.
hitting you? I know you haven't been touring or anything like that lately. What have you been up to, and how's it
Yeah, it's
impacted you?
no fucking chance.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, dude, like I've always been hyper loner. Like I don't really, you know, I have like my best friends I can count literally on less than one hand. I've always been like that guy. I keep to myself.
Hmm.
Um, and I really enjoy like my my sort of primary source of joy in life is creating music that on some level helps me articulate my thoughts and feelings or my problems,
Yeah.
and then putting that out into the world and having the same things that help me help other people. Um, so it has not stopped me from doing that.
Hmm.
If anything, it has thrown gasoline on the fire. And I feel like I've gone harder than I've ever gone in my life
Dude, I
during this
can't
whole
I can't
situation.
do your reviews anymore. I can't keep up. Like I can't make a review of your albums as fast as you can put out albums. I don't know how that's even possible. Is your
Uh,
like day to day just work out, write 5 songs and go to bed or what?
um, yeah, I made 35 beats in the last 9 days.
Nice.
So like
So
I'm
the next
going
3 albums are in the can.
I got some crazy surprises coming up. But
Nice.
yeah, man, I just like, wake up, work out, do like the whole protein shake and breakfast shit and then get to work and
Hmm.
hang out with Nova. And like that's like a big part of this is a lot of people kind of um try to like stick it to me that like,
Sure.
oh, like you're um Mr. Anti-establishment and like you don't even like you're not even touring and fucking blah 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 blah. But it's like I'm in a really unique situation that like most people couldn't even fathom like how stuck and frustrated and paralyzed I feel a lot of the time. And that's because like my girlfriend Nova, like I think it's pretty like we've been pretty open about it in the past. She has some really, really acute like respiratory
Sure.
disorders.
Yeah.
So it's like 3 years ago, she got like a seasonal cold, um, which turned into pneumonia, which turned into her coughing and popping her lungs, and then
Wow.
the air escaping into her chest cavity. And she had like a pneumothorax, which is essentially something that scuba divers get when they go down to like 250 feet
Shit.
and then they come up to the surface too fast. So she was in the hospital for a week and a half with that.
Hmm.
Um, and I was there as well, sitting next to her in the hospital day and night for over a week, um, and taking notes that every nurse comes in and checks on her and does her vitals and administers some form of care. And I had a notebook with me and I was taking all these fucking notes. And then the next time there was a shift change and the next nurse came in, I'd pull that nurse aside and I'd read her all the fucking notes that I took on the last nurse's visit. And like,
Yeah.
it was like a big fucking deal. Not only was it a big fucking stressor for me, and for Nova, she was literally on her deathbed. And I'm sitting there having to witness this and feel responsible for her worsening condition because I'm feeling like it has something to do with I'm not communicating what's going on with the nurses properly and blah blah blah. It was a huge fucking
Yeah.
stressful thing. And not only that, but at that point in time, we were broke. Like we didn't have anything.
Hmm.
Um, I've said many times, like I used to plug my fridge into an extension cord and run the cord out the window and plug it into my neighbor's garage so my food wouldn't spoil when the power got cut off and we had no lights.
Yeah.
So not only was that a terrible situation emotionally, it was a massive financial burden. It cost like $60,000-$70,000
Wow.
for that care, and which we had to start a GoFundMe for to
Hmm.
pay for her. So a month ago, I'm fucking in the studio or in the living room or some shit, and I come to walk down the hall, and Nova's crawling down the fucking hall on her
Mm-hmm.
hands and knees, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she's like, "I can't breathe. Like my asthma is so bad." I was like, "Well, do we need to call a doctor or what?" She's like, "No, I'll be fine. I'm just going to the bathroom." So I carry her to the bathroom. I leave her there. I go sit on the couch, and I'm just kind of like waiting to
Yeah.
see if she's going to be okay. And I hear her gasping, like, "Call 911, call 911."
Oh gosh.
Um, and I like had to carry her out into the fucking street and lay her down on the fucking street while the
Mm-hmm.
ambulance came here and hooked her up to oxygen and all this other shit.
Right.
So it's like, it's not fucking safe for Nova to be touring.
Yeah.
It's not safe for me to be touring and then to potentially bring that home to her. I already almost lost her a couple times
Yeah.
to this asthma shit. So it's like Nova getting COVID it's not a fucking option.
Right.
And like, there's been like a lot of people that hit me up and be like, "You got to show your face and you got to go on tour and you got to do this." And to me, it's just like, shut your fucking mouth.
Right. She's having trouble without COVID. Like,
Exactly.
yeah. That.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
That's horrifying.
and I mean, honestly, the people who are talking shit, this is a fucking symptom of people sitting behind their fucking computers for 17 months and thinking that there's something they're not. Because I fucking guarantee you, if you saw me at the fucking grocery store or you saw me fucking shopping or some shit, there's not a fucking chance you would come say that to my face.
Right.
So whatever, I give people a pass on it, but it's a really delicate, scary situation for Nova. It's like, that's the love of my life. It's my best friend for 15 years. I'm not about to put her in danger.
Yeah.
And also, like, if Nova gets COVID, who the fuck's going to shoot my music videos, assholes?
I will. I'll do it. I'll fly out. Bring me. But no.
Okay, so yeah, it's been a wild ride, dude, but I feel like it's been fucking great for me, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I've been wanting people to leave me the fuck alone for 30 years. So
Right.
this is great for me. Like, and I
Just
feel
got a
like,
pass from everything. That's great.
yeah, and I feel like I had I think we probably talked about it. I had a mental breakdown like 4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I went and stayed at my mom's house for 10 months while I was being sort of nursed back to health. And I didn't go outside for that fucking 10 months. And I feel like that was just training for this.
Yeah.
So I'm having a fucking great time. I'm building music video sets. I'm making lots of music. Like, it's been really cool.
Right. Yeah, I like as far as it's been for me, I don't leave my house much anyway. Like I don't tour or anything like that. So, and I work here most of the time. I go out and shoot stuff, and then I sit here and edit it. So, it's impacted me almost not at all. But I still speak out about it a lot. What are your what are your thoughts on like the mandates and the masks and that stuff? As somebody who has a loved one who is in danger from this thing, do you condone any of that type of behavior?
I mean, the mandates are sort of, I can't tell like sort of what's worse, if it's the mandates that are a problem, or if it's sort of like the social pressure that friends and family and neighbors put on each other. Because
Yeah.
you have all these people saying like, wear a mask, blah 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 blah, and the other side saying, don't wear a mask, you don't need to. And I'm kind of just like, this is America. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Amen.
Like, I'm not going to treat you any fucking different because you decide to wear a mask or don't wear a mask. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like, why would I give a shit about that? Like, everything has become so fucking, dude, honestly, as someone who has fucking lived in other countries for extended periods of time and shit, I have never witnessed the type of hyper politicization of the trivial fucking bullshit
Yep.
that like happens in America. Like, there was a fucking while there during the campaign trails and whatnot, like, or the election or whatever the fuck it was, where it was like, if you were wearing a mask, you were fucking voting for fucking Biden, and if you weren't
Yep.
wearing a mask, then you were voting for Trump. It's just like, what the fuck
Yep. Yeah,
are you
David
guys
Hogg.
talking about?
David Hogg came out and said it after they had said you don't have to wear a mask anymore. That was one of the times. I've lost count of how many times they've said we do or don't have to wear them, but it's science. But David Hogg came out and said something like, I feel like I should still wear a mask because I don't want people to think I'm a Trump supporter. It's like, God damn, man. Such a...
Yeah, so it's just like that. So it's like this. It's like whether you choose to wear a mask or don't, or um, get inoculated or not,
Yeah.
or like, I don't give a shit. Make whatever fucking choice you feel is best for you and your family. This is a
Mhm.
free fucking country. You are free to do as you please. I'm never going to feel any type of way about you.
Yeah.
Um, just do your fucking thing. The issue is when people start, the powers that be start saying, you have to do this, you
Yeah.
have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. And it's like, do I though?
Right.
Like, what is a mandate anyway?
Right.
It's not a fucking law.
Yeah, when you said
So
you're not sure between mandates or like neighbors hating neighbors, I think the only reason neighbors hate neighbors are because of what the government, the media, and everybody's pushing right now. It's all divide and conquer, and some of the points you've been talking about on your songs are stuff that I say on this show on a regular basis. So I'm really happy for that, but I blame the government for all of it, every
sure,
bit.
I think there's probably like a lot of legitimacy in that.
Yeah.
I just, at the end of the day, it's just kind of like nobody at this point in time, nobody's got a gun to your head
Yeah.
forcing you to do anything. Not to say that something like that is not going to occur down the line, because I mean, Jesus
Or
Christ,
currently happening in Australia.
yeah, I mean, we're sliding downhill at a
Oh, yeah.
fucking record-setting pace right now.
Yep.
But I mean, for the time being, it's just like, yo, man, just like if you wanna wear the mask, wear it. If
Yeah.
you don't want to wear the mask, don't. If you fucking don't want to get protection against this thing,
Yeah.
then don't get it. And if
Yeah.
you do, then do it. And I would encourage everybody to have sympathy and understanding for your neighbor's choices,
Absolutely.
and just let people. That's why we're all here, dude. I moved here from out of country,
Hmm.
like permanently, like 6 7 years ago. I moved here for the very reason that like what this country represents, and the freedom that it's allowed to everyone here. Um, so just whatever side of the line that you fall on, just exercise that freedom, enjoy your life, and let other people enjoy theirs, and
Yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah, you're talking a lot about freedom of choice or freedom of like autonomy and stuff like that, and personal responsibility. Like you, I don't care what your opinion is on, or like whether or not you've been vaccinated, whether or not you wear masks or whatever. That doesn't concern me at all. Like, but you're currently somebody who has a high risk of that. I think it's a high risk of Nova getting it, whatever. But I don't remember where I was going with this. Yeah, personal responsibility and all that. A lot of the things that you talk about in your songs seem pretty libertarian. I'm curious if you know anything about libertarianism, if you've dug into that type of stuff. And I know that there are people who, if I don't bring it up, will yell at me if I get you on the show and don't say it at this point.
Sure. Honestly, dude, like, I guess the easy answer is just no.
Sure.
I don't subscribe to like any particular brand of politics. I'm
Yeah.
aware that libertarian is sort of centrist, like in the middle, and it's neither left nor right, and like I understand all that. But that's about as far as my understanding of what being truly libertarian means. Like my personal brand of politics is like I just whatever I fuck with, regardless of where it comes from, if it comes from the left or if it comes from the right. Like, to be completely honest, both fucking sides of the spectrum have some really fucking good ideas about a lot of different shit. It just so happens that the fucking ignorance displayed by both sides of the spectrums overshadows all of those good points, and then you're just left with the right are a bunch of racist bigots, and the left are a bunch of fake woke pussies, and it's just like,
hey, those are your words, man.
Yeah, and like it's just like everybody's good ideas are just overshadowed by the sort of stereotyped, meme-worthy bullshit. And it just breeds like this animosity and hatred and competition between the two sides. So it's just like, dude, if I hear an idea and I'm like, that's a good fucking idea, I like that.
Yeah.
Let me fucking sit with that for a couple weeks and think about it and see if that makes sense for me.
Yeah.
If that makes sense for my life, so be it. I don't give a shit where it came from. If it came from the left or the right, I don't give a shit.
So you just want to be left the fuck alone to do your thing, and you leave other people alone.
Yeah, that's
libertarianism.
The other,
in a nutshell, less government and more just leave me the fuck alone. Everybody takes responsibility for themselves and helps out people when they can. Don't hurt people. Don't take their stuff. That's pretty much the basis of it.
Sure, I'm still not going to wear the fucking name tag, but I dig it.
That's fine. You don't have to.
So yeah.
The Libertarian Party sucks half the time too, so it's all good.
Well,
I spend half my episodes calling them out for bullshit, so it's all good.
Yeah. I mean, so it's like, it's fucking, yeah, man, it's crazy because I think that lately a lot of my music and stuff has been like political.
Yeah.
Probably more so than at any other point in my life. And I don't know if this ties back into what I was saying about this sort of hyper politicization of the trivial things. Mm-hmm. But I've never thought so much about politics and social issues and shit. I've never thought about it so much in my fucking life.
A fucking movie can't come out without it being politicized in any way, one way or the other. It's either a red movie or a blue movie. There's nothing in between. Even if it's like a superhero movie. Like, who gives a shit? It's not real.
Yeah. And it's just like sort of permeated my fucking being to the point where I end up making a lot of songs about it. So, yeah, man, it's just like these last, 3-4 years, like I've never found myself thinking about this shit so much and making so much music about it. But it's just like this constant fucking bombardment of like information, left, right, red, blue, misinformation, conspiracy, nah. It's just like constant. And it's just like, who the fuck are these people making songs about being in the club and shit right now? Like, bro, no, you're not. Point. What the fuck are you talking about?
Are you social distancing in the club? Like, I want to hear that party song. Got my mask on, headed out.
Yeah, right? Like, I wish that, that my environment and world events didn't, influence me as a person as much as it does sometimes. Because I mean, that old saying, man, I guess, ignorance truly is blissful. Because it seems like some people are having a great fucking time and just making music about bullshit.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. How can you even write a love song in this day and age? Like, how can you even... Of course, the love song would end up being like, well, I swiped left until I found a Democrat and then I married her.
Dude, I have this Nova watches, what the fuck is that show called? Bachelor in Paradise all the time. And she watches all these fucking dating shows and shit. Yeah. And they're fucking great, honestly. Because I take what I do so seriously, when I'm making music and making beats and shit. Yeah. When I walk out the studio, I just want to shut the fuck off, and not think about everything that we've been talking about, and not concentrate on music. And it's fine. Yeah. I have no hard feelings. So when she puts that shit on, it's this mindless bullshit that I can just sort of sit there and just tune out for a bit.
Right.
It would be such a great concept. Whether it was on Survivor or whether it was on one of these dating shows or something. Any show where there's two teams, on Survivor, there's always these two tribes, and some of these dating shows, it's Married at First Sight and shit. These two strangers meet and get married like, how fucking great would it be if Survivor was all Republicans versus Dems? Or like one of these dating shows where they hook people up to get married at first sight. It's always a Republican and a Democrat.
That would be.
I'm just interested. How does that work? Can people truly like, and then at some point in Survivor, the tribes always like merge and shit. I'm just like wonder like, what does that all fucking look like publicly on TV? I would love to see it.
Yeah. Take Survivor to a new level where it's like you can have your communist group over here, and you can have your anarchist group over here, and see which one fights it out and works it out just right. I want to see that reality TV show. So take all these different political ideologies and play them out in a small scale, and see how it goes.
I think it's fucking brilliant, and nobody's done it yet.
Yep. Just give me credit, whoever does it, when you do it. And hopefully it's not one of these piece of shit companies. But anyway, what were we even talking about? COVID and shit or something? I don't know.
Yep.
Who cares?
Yep.
Whatever. I remember what it was. It was libertarianism. And I gotta at least say, if I send you a couple things on the Mises Caucus, and which is like the good part of the Libertarian Party that I think that you would agree with pretty much in every way based on what you say in your songs, would you take a look at it?
Probably not.
Okay, cool. What if I sent you a video that I made and said, Tom, take a look at this, and if you are interested,
this is feeling very Jehovah's Witnessy to me.
Have you met my Lord and Savior, the Libertarian Party? Oh, I know it is that way. But I know that I actually had a guy like 6 or 7 months ago when I started getting into this Mises Caucus thing, and they hit me up. I don't know who this guy is. Don't know him from Adam. He's not like their leadership or anything. He just reached out to me, and he's like, hey, I need to talk to you. Shoot me your number. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, you know Tom MacDonald, right? And I was like, ish. I mean, I've talked to him a time, and he calls me up acting like he's got this big plan or something.
You gave him your fucking phone number?
I gave him a different phone. I've got a burner, like whatever. I have a public phone number basically. But I talked to him, and he's like, dude, have you shown could you show Tom MacDonald Anatomy of the State? It's like a fucking textbook, and I'm like, no, that's not going to convince anybody of anything. But I just thought it was funny that he thinks that, because I know you, I can sway your political ideology. Because Tom MacDonald doesn't have strong views or anything that he's, pretty into.
Yeah, I mean, man, I don't know. Like, it was so funny. Like, when I did the Fox News thing about fake woke like a few months ago or whatever, they were like, I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about Fox News. They were super friendly with me, and like, obviously, like, to feature me on their platform, like, that was a big moment for me. I never thought I would ever see myself on the news. I mean, I was probably the only day in history that the news actually reported the facts. But it was cool, and I remember making a point of saying, hey, because Fox is traditionally like a Republican news source. Mm-hmm. And they had asked me sort of about a couple questions about my affiliation with that party. And I was pretty explicit in saying, like, I'm not aligned with like anyone or anything. I just do my thing. And like, if that appeals to who it appeals to, then fine. Yeah. So they were like, okay, cool. Like, we'll make a point of saying that. And I was like, okay, all right, sounds good. And then they do the whole interview, and then like didn't mention it at all.
Really?
And then they were like, hey, how do you want your name to be on Fox News? And I was just like, I don't know, rapper Tom MacDonald. And they're like, what about Canadian rapper Tom MacDonald? And I was like,
spicy.
Yeah, I was like, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Like, do it like that. But if it's absolutely necessary to whatever angle you guys are trying to like get out, then I guess it's fine. But I would really rather not.
Republican hard right rapper Tom MacDonald.
Right?
Just shows up.
And then I specifically said, I'm not associated with any party. I don't back any party. Blah blah blah. But they're like, okay, cool. So all of a sudden we go live on Fox News and it says like Canadian rapper in like 7 different places. And I'm like, son of
They've
a
got the
bitch.
Canadian flag flapping in the wind
Yeah.
behind
Yeah.
you.
Like in my eyes, I'm like,
Right.
holy shit. Okay. So then we did the whole interview and everything's cool. And then like at the very final moments of the interview before they flip to the next segment, they're like, and Tom MacDonald says he doesn't affiliate with any political party, and have a good day, bye. It was like
Right.
that fucking disclaimer at the end of like a big pharma commercial.
Yep.
You were like, what? What did they say? Like, yeah, it was just fucking hilarious, bro. So
Yeah. Well, it's not
Yeah.
like you needed Fox to convince people that you're a hard or a far right rapper or whatever. They're gonna if you were talking earlier, or we were both talking earlier about how it's either hard right or hard left. There's like no in between, and it's not only that, but it's like if you're not, the way the left seems to view it is if you're not hard far left, anything else, anything at all is hard right, and the right wingers are like, I don't know. I can get along better with them because they seem to have a little bit more nuance in their life than some Democrats, but retardeds are generally Republican as well.
this, like I said earlier, man, the ignorance is strong on both sides, and it's not, bro. It's not everyone.
Yeah.
Like it's just not. Like I would say actually the majority of both sides are actually pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Normal
it's
people in
just
real life, when you interact with them as a human, they're cool.
that are just making the decisions that make the most sense for themselves and their families, and that's
Right.
like there's no fucking problem with that. I think the issue lies in that, like, for some fucking reason, the idiots on both sides have the fucking loudest fucking voices.
Yeah.
And it's usually the dumb shit that the idiots are saying that turns into headlines and memes and narratives online. And I mean, I guess it's really elementary. Like when you think about it, it's like, it, what is a well thought out opinion worth in terms of clicks?
Yeah.
Probably fucking very little. So they take the most extreme nonsensical bullshit from both sides and fucking cram that down your fucking throat.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you end up hating everybody on the other side because you think everybody's like this one quote that's been presented to you, and it's just really not the fucking case. It just goes, bro, the whole thing is fucking divide and conquer. It doesn't take a fucking rocket science to stand back, look at this shit from 30,000 feet for 2 seconds and be like, huh.
Mm-hmm.
We're all literally getting played right now, and some of us are getting played so hard that we've started playing ourselves.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, a lot of it is with the advent of social media and the way things even function online now. With only the most edgy which I'm sure you understand this. Only the edgy offensive stuff gets promoted or gets the most engagements, and whatever gets the most engagements gets pushed to the top, and then people see that and they respond angrily. So all of these platforms encourage bad behavior, I guess. It encourages more people to spend their time just trolling. Like you do troll, but you do it in a way that makes you money, so it's fine.
I mean, it's like, that's the thing though, is that like you said, misinformation is sort of has a negative connotation about it, or like conspiracy has a negative connotation, or UFOs have a negative connotation. Like so does kind of like so does trolling kind of.
Yeah.
And like the things that we're talking about right now, like media and social media and clickbait and shit like this, like I don't think that, like, I want to walk back something I said and said everything is all divide and conquer and blah 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 blah. A lot of the time I think that is probably true.
Don't walk
but
back
it's
one
all
of my favorite points you've ever made, Tom. Just leave it. It's fine.
No, hold on. It's not always that nefarious.
Sure.
I don't think. I think a lot of times it's innocent. It's like, like I could have I wrote the song Snowflakes, and then I sat around and I was like, I didn't know what the fuck that song was going to be called.
Mm-hmm.
I just wrote the fucking song, and
Yeah.
I was just sitting around trying to figure it out. Like, oh, what are we going to call this song? Blah 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 blah. And then it hit me, and I was like, oh, that's fucking great. It like sums up the song in one word. It's a super clickable word. Like, it just makes sense to call the song fucking Snowflakes. And that was just like an innocent thing. That wasn't like some nefarious, like, I'm gonna divide people and blah.
Right.
It was just like, yeah, it just makes sense. That's the fucking best move. I'm a musician. I want my music to reach as many people as possible. I feel like that's the best title for the fucking song. Done.
Yeah.
And like, and yeah, it was like it was definitely like a little bit of a troll, but
I would say, would you say that working Blair White into it just to piss a bunch of people off would be a troll move too?
I love Blair.
Yeah, she's great.
She's a fucking gangster.
Yep.
And Nova has been a big fan of Blair for like fucking forever.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like, this is the real fucking way that it came about. Like, I was sitting around, we were coming up with ideas for the music video, and it started out with like, we were racking our brains trying to come up with imagery, and I was like, it would be a lot fucking easier for us to shoot music videos if we were okay with just like fancy car, bunch of hot chicks,
right,
and money and fucking blah, 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 blah. But like, it's, we don't do those things. So we have to get a little more creative with shit. And, as that progressed, I said to Nova, I've never had a girl in one of my videos,
right,
ever,
yeah,
period. And she was like, oh, well, like, who's like a girl that you'd want to put in the video? And I was like, well, at this point, I feel like if I'm going to put a girl in a music video, it can't just be some random rap video girl.
Right.
It has to be like something special, and it has to be like a personality or like a celebrity or like something like that. And I'm like, well, fuck me, Nova. I've been with you for 6 years, so my fucking Rolodex on famous girls is a short fucking list right now.
Right.
So I was like, who do you got? And she's like, oh my God, like, Blair is fucking perfect. Like, I love Blair. She showed me a lot of her videos in the past, Blair's like vlogs and the videos that she does.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yo, yeah, like, she's a fucking gangster. That's definitely the person for the video.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened.
You're telling me
like,
the trans thing didn't play into it at all? Come on.
It honestly didn't. Hold on. My AirPods. Yeah, so what we were talking about before my AirPods died was you had asked if the trans thing was a motivation to put Blair in it. And honestly, like, I never thought, and I don't think Nova ever thought either, like, oh, Blair's trans, so that's the fucking move.
Yeah.
It was just like, Blair is somebody. We share a lot of like common ideas, and
it's not like she's somebody who would be offended even if that was the move, because that's kind of, I mean,
yeah,
she's a troll too. So
yeah, and you know what? Like, that was the thing. That was the conversation that we had, because when I said, okay, yeah, that's dope, Blair's perfect, I was like, do you think that she'd have a problem with like being in this video or anything? I said, because I said to Nova, I had that line about trans people. I forget what the fucking bar was now. Anyways, I had that line in the song, and I was like, do you think that Blair's going to be upset about that?
Mm-hmm.
And Nova was like, no. And you should get Blair to say that line.
Yep.
Oh, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, that's fucking brilliant. Mm-hmm. So when I talked to Blair and I said, hey, like, because I got her number or whatever on Instagram, and I was like, hey, like, my girlfriend's been a big fan of you for a long time. I really like what you do. I'm shooting this music video, da-da-da-da-da. And typically, like, when I do music videos that are, like, quote-unquote controversial, nobody's heard those songs when they show up to the video shoot.
Yeah.
So when we did, like, White Boy or Straight White Male or If I Was Black or any of those videos when there was extras in attendance, I always sit everybody down. I play the song for them. And I'm like, okay, so here's the song. This is what I'm trying to communicate with the song. This is the vision that I have. Everybody just listen to it.
Yeah.
If anybody has any problems with what's happening right now, you're free to leave. We'll still pay you for the day. It's not a big deal. You can get up and go home right now.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to feel any type of way about you. We're not going to give you a bad review. Nothing. We'll give you the money that we told you we'd give you, and you can be on your way. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
And usually, like, a couple of people put up their hand, ask a couple questions. We talk about it for a minute. Boom, boom, done. We've never really had anybody leave.
Really?
And then we end up just shooting the video and everything's cool. So with Blair, when I called her and I was like, hey, yeah, like, this is what the song's about. I know that you've talked about a lot of similar things in your streams.
Mm-hmm.
And I would really like you to deliver the line about trans people.
Yeah.
And I told her what the line was. To give her further context, I sent her a snippet of the song after. And I just said, like, how do you feel about it? And she said, I love it. I'm into it.
Cool.
And I was just like, you know, it was like in that moment where I was just like, yo, this girl is really like, she doesn't just talk to talk.
Yeah.
Like, she's the real fucking deal. And she showed up and she killed it. She crushed it. So
awesome. Very cool. Yeah, it's great. I thought it was 100% planned, and I was like, cool.
Dude,
I still applaud you.
That's the thing, is like, after the fact, like, a lot of people were like, that was the ultimate troll move.
Right.
And I was just like, all right, well, if you want to pat me on the back for that, then I'll take it.
All right.
I'm happy that you guys have that amount of confidence in me that I'd be so smart to do that. So,
yeah. Now let's talk a bit about Dear Slim, which is your $100,000 M&M beat purchase that got everybody talking. Tell me, most people know the story, so we don't have to like dig too deep into it. But everybody was like, you know, even on this show, my co-host and I were like, oh, what's it gonna do? Is it gonna be a diss track? I was like, it's not gonna be a diss track. He made it seem like it's a diss track, so there's no way it's gonna be a diss track. But what you did was, something completely unique and completely you, and I thought it was fantastic. But tell us a little bit about everything that went into, making that happen, and especially the video with all the backgrounds and props and matching all that up.
Well, first of all, thank you.
Absolutely.
That was like a really, like, in my mind, a really big, cool thing for like an independent artist to do. And like, as much as people love to talk shit and, Sam this and Sam that, like, ain't nobody ever done anything like that before. So suck my fucking dick. But yeah, it was pretty crazy, dude. Like, for months leading up to that, Nova had got into the crypto space and the NFT world, and we had been talking about it a lot because it was something that she'd become hyper interested in. So I started looking into cryptocurrencies and NFTs and stuff like that. And like, obviously, you start throwing around the word decentralized, and I'm fucking in.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. So I'm looking into it and finding out about the shit and sort of wrapping around my head of like the actual concept of blockchain and NFTs and like all this different type of shit. And looking
all this
at
libertarian
coins.
stuff. Yeah, I like it.
You're fucking pushing that agenda hard. You are the fucking libertarian Illuminati.
Oh, that's an honor. Thank you.
Yeah. So,
wait, it's like the Illuminati, but with like zero power instead of all the power. Yeah.
yeah. I love that.
A whole lot of LARPing, but for a good cause. Yep.
Hell yeah. Speaking of LARPing, like, do you have a gaming PC by chance?
I don't. I barely game.
Okay. Forget about it then.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I was getting into the NFT thing, wrapping my head around like sort of the concept of everything and and I started to get like pretty hyped on it. I was like, fuck, this is cool. Like, I want to make NFTs and I want to do this shit. And my only issue was there was a lot of like sort of big celebrities jumping into the NFT space and sort of looking at it as like a fucking money grab and like kind of giving artists like a bad name within the NFT community. And for me, it was like, it just seemed like such a new and exciting artistic medium where it's like you've been painting with fucking black and white and red your whole life, and then somebody showed up and said, "Oh, you can paint with blue and yellow now," and you're like, "Oh shit, really? Okay, let me fuck with this."
Yeah.
So sort of while I'm sort of thinking about this and ingesting that and figuring it out, like Nova says, like, "Yo, Eminem's gonna drop these NFTs," and I was like, "Really?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Okay, well, that's cool." And I didn't have my wallet set up or anything yet, and Nova had all her shit and whatever. So the day Eminem drops the NFTs, Nova buys like a couple like sort of trading card action figure Eminem NFTs or whatever.
Sure.
And she shows them to me, and they're like super fucking cool. And I'm like, damn, that's like actually fire. Like those are really dope.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like low key jealous that she got them because I've been waiting to get my first NFT, and like those looked so dope that I was like, shit, that would have been cool. But whatever, I kind of left it at that. And then I went out to work out. I remember it like so vividly. I got like a weight rack out back, and I went to go like put some weights on the rack or pull them off the rack, and at the same time I was like scrolling through the ShadyCon NFT drop looking at the other things that Nova didn't get.
Yeah.
And I saw the number one NFT was this sort of 15-second loop video, and the NFT came with like an autographed vinyl of Eminem's Infinite album, and it came with like a shadow box with some 8mm film from Stan.
Nice.
And it came with the Eminem Jordans, and like all this shit's autographed and da-da-da. I'm like, that's just all cool, but like, I mean, I don't have like autographed shit in my house. I don't have memorabilia like that.
Sure.
I
do. I've got a whole Tom MacDonald wall over here in the corner. Just
hey man, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, but the thing that intrigued me the most was that it said it came with a original beat produced by Marshall Mathers.
Right.
And little does anybody know, like I had written a song. Do you have the two new albums?
They're right here on the front of my desk. Yeah. If you look closely enough, they're autographed even.
Well, fuck me. I didn't see them there. I'm sorry about that.
It's all good.
But did you hear the song Eminem?
I just listened to it earlier because I just got to the second one earlier today.
Right.
I heard the Eminem track. It's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I had that song written and recorded prior to any of this NFT shit.
Nice.
Like a week before this NFT shit. And as I'm like putting this weight on the rack and I'm seeing this beat and it's circling through my head that it comes with this original beat, I was like, oh my God, I have a song called Eminem.
Yeah.
I could put that song on an Eminem beat and I could have Eminem by Tom MacDonald produced by Eminem. Yeah. And I was just like, holy fuck, like boom, like mind blown. You know what I mean? Like that guy is the reason why I started rapping.
Yeah.
It's like a huge fucking moment for me and like an epiphany I had. And I ran into the house and I was like, Nova. And she's like, what? And I was like, you got to set me up a fucking crypto wallet and blah, 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 blah. I was like, I got to buy this Eminem beat. It's going to be the fucking coolest thing I ever did. Fucking whatever. And bidding on that fucking thing was the most stressful fucking experience of my life.
I'm sure.
Like I had my fucking lawyer on the phone.
You're watching your dream. Just it could leave at any moment if you don't stay on it. Like this is an opportunity that doesn't come around at all again.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So I got the fucking auction open on the computer. I got the auction open on a second computer. I got my lawyer on the phone. I got Nova next to me. I got my accountant on the phone, and everybody's on speaker, and we're all fucking watching this shit. And it's going, 20,000. And I'm like, bid 25. And we put 25 down. And then it goes 30. And I said, put 35 down. And then it's 40. Okay, put 41 down. 45, put 46 down. And then my accountant goes, hey, they just blocked your card.
Really?
I'm like, what? Yeah. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, they just. They blocked your card.
The
Like
card company blocked it, or the NFT company
the
blocked it?
the bank.
Okay.
So they thought it was fraud.
Yeah,
So we
it
called
would
the
seem
bank.
like fraud for sure.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm not like, bro, this is a fucking like $13 necklace that I
Yeah.
bought in bulk off the internet. Like I don't spend money like that.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, get on the fucking phone with the bank, blah 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 blah. It's like, so they get on the phone. The bank says, "Oh, we thought it was fraud." Okay, release the fucking shit. Okay, we'll release it. But your daily spending limit's only 50 grand, and you've already spent 45. And every time that you place a bid, 10% of what you're bidding is being charged to your card. So if you bid $45,000, $4,500 is being charged to your card, and fucking blah 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 blah. So
Yeah.
we're like $1,500 away from the fucking my spending limit, and then we go back to bidding, and it's going on and it's going on, and we ended up getting them to push the limit of my card, but then the stipulation was, okay, we will allow you to spend $100,000, but you're not allowed to make any more than 12 transactions. So I'm like, well, I've already
timing
made
it out.
yeah, I'm like, I've already made fucking 7 transactions here.
Right.
Like, so what? I only have 5 transactions to go before I can't do this anymore. So now I have to sit there watching it go from like 45 to 55 to 65 to 70, and I can't do shit because if I start outbidding these people, I'm going to burn up all my transactions.
Yep.
So I have to wait until nobody's bidding, and it's at 88,000, and it's not moving, and the fucking clock is running down.
Mm-hmm.
And every time somebody places a bid, the clock restarts at 2 minutes. So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and I'm counting out loud.
So this auction doesn't have like a set end time. It just keeps going until people stop bidding. Wow. Jeez.
Yeah, this is fucking dirty pool, dude.
Oh yeah.
So it gets to the point where there's like 15 seconds left, and I start counting out loud. I'm like 15, 14, and my accountant goes, "Hey, what the fuck are you talking about? I see 7 seconds over here." And I'm like 13, 12. And he's like, "Tom, it's at 5. It's at 5. Place your fucking bid." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I see 10 seconds. He's like, "I see 4 seconds. Make your fucking bid." And I was like, "Nova, make the fucking bid." She's like, "How much?" I was like, "Put all 100 grand on it right now. Just do it." It was like seriously like fucking Wolf of Wall Street in this bitch. I was like, "We ain't fucking leaving. Like without this M&M beat." And Nova puts in the bid with 1 second left.
Oh my God.
The clock restarts at 1 minute or 2 minutes or whatever the fuck it was. And we sat there in total fucking silence for 2 minutes. And I'm thinking to myself, this is amazing. I'm going to get a beat made by Eminem. And the other half of me is like, you fucking idiot. You just spent $100,000 on a beat from Eminem. Like, bro, I've never spent money on anything in my life. I don't think I've ever spent that. I don't think I've spent 100 grand on my life total combined. So I started trying to justify it. I'm like, oh fuck me. This is like a dream of like 14-year-old Tom MacDonald. Like this is a fucking total fucking dream. So that's pretty cool. That's gotta be worth something.
Yeah.
And also like Eminem doesn't sell beats, and if he did, and you went to Eminem for a beat, what are you going to pay for it?
Right.
$500,000?
Right. So was this the only beat that was in this NFT like auction or whatever?
Yeah.
Nice.
So we ended up winning it, and then it gets dicier, bro, because I get the beat, and then I'm like, sick, I'm just going to switch this Eminem song onto the Eminem beat. Didn't even think to myself, well, what the fuck is the BPM of this song? What's the BPM of the one I already wrote? Yeah. Those lyrics totally fucking don't work. They're too completely, sometimes you can kind of bend and force and manipulate a song to fit a different beat, but this was not one of those cases. So I ended up writing an entirely new song that night, sitting out in the backyard at like midnight, and I wrote Dear Slim. And we conceptualized the video, and we spent $2,500 at a junkyard to get the exact car that Stan was driving in the original Stan video. I bought $100 worth of blue exterior paint. I painted the car myself. I had a friend of mine go down to the beach and collect sand and seaweed in a garbage bag. We covered the car in sand and seaweed. I had another friend of mine build a water rig out of PVC pipe that you can connect to a hose, and then we put the water rig screwed to the inside roof of the car.
Yeah.
So if you watch the video, the car is always leaking water, always. Right. Like it has just been dragged off the bottom of the river where Stan crashed it.
Yeah.
And I, bleached my hair like Stan, and we rebuilt Stan's bedroom in my house, in my spare bedroom, and we really fucking went for it, man. And that was Dear Slim.
Did you have any concerns as you were finishing that up? Like, what the fuck do I do now? How do I top this? Like, on all of these songs, like after you put something out, do you have that pressure of like, well, that was so fucking good. Now what? Like, or is it just, sit down, smoke another bowl and see what happens? Or what?
I mean, no, not really. I can't, a lot of the time in my life, I am in competition with myself. And that's driven me to do like some things that I think are pretty special, like Dear Slim.
Yeah.
But then, there comes like a time where it's just like, I got to let that thing live in its own place. And I can't stress myself out for the rest of my life about topping that or doing something more special than that. Like, I mean, that song, that's end game shit.
Yeah.
Like, so, and I'm not even close to calling it quits. So I just let that thing live. The really like the most frustrating part is actually the opposite of what you're saying. And it's not, is anything after this going to live up to it? The most frustrating part was, I think prior to Dear Slim, the video that came out was, I think it was Fake Woke. And it had like 20 million views at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it had got national news coverage, and it did all this really amazing shit on the internet.
Yeah.
And my biggest, the thing that broke my heart the most about Dear Slim is, while I was working on it, while I knew that I had crafted something extremely special in terms of the music, while I knew that I was breaking my back to do something impactful and important visually, I knew that there was no way, in spite of all of those things that I thought were so special and important about Dear Slim, I knew that there was no way it was ever going to live up to Fake Woke.
Sure.
And that was the most frustrating part.
Yeah.
Was that like, I wrote Fake Woke in fucking 25 minutes. Yeah. I went and shot the video outside in a tunnel by a friend's place.
Yeah.
And very little thought or extravagance or substantial effort went into it. Mm-hmm. It was just something that I was feeling at the time, and things I wanted to say, and I think the rest of the world was feeling a lot of those same things, and
right.
I was saying things that they were thinking, and the stars sort of aligned on that, and it went fucking to the moon. Mm-hmm. And I just knew that, like, for things to happen that way, it's really, really rare, and you can't make things happen like that. They just have to, by happenstance, they have to occur in that manner. So I just knew that, like, well, we're working so hard on this song, we're working so hard on this video, and I know in my heart and my soul what we're doing right now is like far more important than many other things that I've done in my career, but it's never going to be recognized as such.
Yeah.
And that was the heartbreaking part, but we fucking did it anyway. And it's still like one of the things I'm most proud of. So
absolutely. And it is worth I don't know if it would be worth that money to me, but I don't have that money to even think about it being worth. But on the Dear Slim topic, I am curious, have you ever heard of a rapper from back in the day named KJ52?
No.
No? He had a song called Dear Slim, and your fans have never heard it. I know that for a fact because I went into one of the Hangover Gang groups on Facebook. I just made like some joke because he was like this Christian white boy rapper back in the day. You wrote a song
Is
called
it
Dear
dope?
Slim. No,
Okay.
it's not.
Okay.
So
Well, that's why they haven't heard it.
right. So for those that are familiar with the song, you would have known that I was straight joking. I made like took KG52's face and put like Dear Tom or something on it and said that he was going to do a clapback, and I posted it in your groups, and everybody just freaked the fuck out. They were like, I thought we weren't supposed to be like, posting our own shit. I guess this guy's posting his own songs. I'm like,
Oh, fuck this guy.
you don't get it. That's fine. But I think the post was eventually removed because everybody was just like screaming at me. I wasn't responding to them, but they were like, get that
Well,
shit
you
out of here.
fucking-
Who cares about KJ52 or whoever that is? I'm like, that's the joke.
You fucking deserve it.
Nobody
You
cares.
deserve it, buddy.
It's fine.
That's on you. I'm a moderator, but I can't save you from that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I thought it was hilarious because I wasn't responding. I wasn't like defending it. I was just like, it was a meme. It was a joke. Like this guy, I don't even think he makes music anymore. I don't even know.
This is the fucking thing though, is that like over the years now, not only have I said so many things about like politics that a lot of people think and don't say, but I've also been pretty transparent about my struggles with addiction and my struggles with mental health and stuff and that type of shit. Not only in my music, but also like when I'm actually speaking with my fans or doing live streams or whatever the case may be. So at this point, it's like, if you've been riding with me for, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you've seen me fucking go through some gnarly shit, and you've heard me talk about gnarly shit that I've been through in the past, and you hear the songs about those topics, and you've really like, I don't make a lot of music that's not true to who I am.
Yeah.
So at this point, people have really got to know me as like a human being, and it's like we're really like, I would venture to say that I have a much closer relationship with my fans and my community than most artists have with theirs.
Right.
So it's like at this point, like the people that have seen me struggle and know my story and heard the songs about it, and identify those things within themselves, we've become like family now.
Yeah.
So it's like when somebody pops up to talk shit, it's like everybody, it's not like, oh, you're not being nice to my favorite artist. It's like, fuck you. That guy's my friend, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's your fucking fault, bro. You deserved it.
I assumed it would probably. I assumed nobody would understand the joke, except for like one or two like of the old school Christian white boy rap guys who never were allowed to listen to Eminem back in the day. Those are the types of people that my very edgy humor speaks to.
Were you on some nefarious divide and conquer shit, or was it innocent trolling?
It was innocent trolling.
Ah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. I got a laugh out of it. I knew that nobody would understand it, but you brought it up, and we can. Are you down to do a little bit of bonus? We can actually end this main one and jump over to bonus if you're cool with that.
Sure. What's bonus?
Oh, just behind the paywall for the people who
sure,
subscribe and all that.
Sure.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff in your songs, like specifically the depression and stuff like that, if you don't mind. But
Sure.
yeah, do you have any final thoughts for our normie listeners, our general viewing public here that don't pay any money and just freeload their way through life?
Keep doing that. Get as much shit out of this motherfucker as you can possibly get for free. And take that from somebody who spent $100,000 on a beat from Eminem. Save every penny. But for real though, look, man, fucking crazy times have caused for crazy music, but it doesn't have to call for crazy people.
Yeah.
So, just let the rest of the world lose their fucking minds. Let the rest of the world go nuts. And just stay true to yourself. Be smart, be strong, hang in there. It's been a wild ride for all of us for the last 2 years. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And, even if that light gets fucking snuffed out, we'll fucking light some fucking torches and fucking ride out into this bitch. So everybody just fucking stay strong, stay smart. I love y'all tons from the bottom of my heart. It's Hangover Gang forever. Peace.
Your sign off last time was get better problems, you fucking loser. I feel like you've softened up because of COVID, Tom. That's beautiful.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I'll wrap this up and then we'll switch over. Just hang tight for a second. But Tom, you're always welcome here. I would love if you would do it sometime, within the next 2 years or so. Maybe we'll make this last time was November of 2019. Maybe we'll make it a fall, every other year occasion. But,
yeah, it's an every other annually occurrence.
Yes, and who the hell knows where we'll be by then. But Tom, thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute blast, and you're always welcome, man. All right, guys, welcome back to... Sorry, I muted you. Did you say something after that? I didn't mean to mute you.
I think I just said thanks for having me or some shit.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting. Yeah, you guys all know and love Tom, and it's always a blast having him here, and I'm glad we finally pinned down a time to make it work. Tom, I wish you the best of luck in all your endeavors. And to those out there who are watching, please continue to share the show. Go like, subscribe, do all the stupid shit that millennials do on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at TSIDPod on the Twits and Facebook. Yeah, fuck those guys. But until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, be bad, have fun, and I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemsdown for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.
This has been a Goulash Media production. goulashmedia.net.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.